Hey, you. Yeah, you. What you doing? I know what I'm doing. I'm starting my week off right with Talking About the Blues podcast, baby.
What's going on? What's going on? You are now bluesing with the number one blues broadcast in New York City, talking about the blues, baby. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like the Facebook page, and subscribe to the website. Stay tuned for our live interviews, baby. Keep bluesing. Welcome to another episode of Talk About the Blues. And today, this is a very, very special show. We have the son of a legend who is currently making his own legacy. I'm honored to speak to Mud Morganfield. What's going on, my brother?
Hey, Jack, how are you doing? Hello, everybody.
Yes, indeed. You know, I was listening to your music, and you are definitely keeping the Chess Records legacy alive with that music.
Yeah. Well, that's where it comes from, man. That's where it started from with my father. So I'm just overwhelmed, man, to be a part of something that my dad spent his entire life doing.
Yeah. I mean, he actually revolutionized the music.
Yeah, Pop. He influenced quite a few people, man, and he can influence a lot of music, man. I think that it's a good thing, man. I love him, so.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about that because the irony, what I heard in your music, you have the same, you have a similar tone of voice. However, your music and voice is distinctive. You sound like Mud, you know.
Well, I tell you, Jack, it's not bad to have a little both of them, and that's what I was kind of hoping for. Because here, man, there must be thousands and thousands of students that wrote papers on my dad, and young musicians as well, who didn't get a chance to see my dad perform. And I think, man, that I do him justice, and maybe they can get a glimpse into what it may have been like through me. So, again, man, it leaves me just speechless to be able to do some of the stuff my dad did, man.
We're going to play some of this song in a minute. When I was listening to the song, it started out and it sounded similar to Manish Boy and Hoochie Coochie Man. When I heard you come on, it was just like you were definitely channeling Muddy.
You know, I've heard that, Jack. I don't really. I mean, call me dumbfounded, man. I don't really know what challenging is. I don't. You know, I look at it as being someone that go rub a dial or go somewhere in a room, and you know, man, listen, everything I got, man, I got it from God, my father, and my mother. So you know, and what I do is what's been instilled in me from generations and generations of Morganfields, man.
Hey everybody, this is Adam Gusso, and you have been listening to Talking About the Blues. Talking About the Blues.
Well, as I was saying, man, you know, I don't look at it that way. As a matter of fact, Jack, I think I may have been tapping up my mother's stomach, man, when I was inside. I came here, man, in the blues. I was drenched in the blues. And that's it, man. I remember as a kid, 3 and 4 and 5 years old, man, maybe a little later, but I remember these beats always ran through my head, man. Everything I've done in music. I used to get so many scorings about beating on the table with spoons, and I mean, man, it's just been in me, man. And I mean, I could have been the son of anybody. It just so happened I'm the son of Muddy Waters, so
the king of the Chicago blues. Now, it's funny that you said that, or better yet, ironic that you said that you would get scored for beating on the table, because is it true, or is this a legend, that Muddy every Christmas, at least for a few years, bought you a drum set?
My father bought me a set of drums, man, up till I was about 15, 16 years old when I decided that I wanted to play bass. Remember, man, I'm from Muddy, and these musical genes flow through me, man. So the more I hear music, the more I love it, and I want to play bass guitar. And if you go back to the album Son of the Seventh Son, every song almost on there, I wrote the bass line to it, and I wrote that song. So now I do fiddle around with the bass, and I play bass with and write.
When you're writing the songs, what's your thought process?
My thought process is always where I come from. Remember, Jack, I was born and raised on the streets of Chicago, man, on the west side of Chicago, man. And let me just say this for you and your listeners, man. There's many people that do blues, play blues, can sing blues, but until you done had some blues, you just can't, you know what I mean? It's just not really blues. In order for you to do some blues, you got to been and had some blues, Jack.
Yes, sir.
And people ask me all over the world, where have you been? Where have you been? Well, what I can say to that is, I've been having some blues. I've been getting the blues.
That's right.
I've been getting the heartbreaks. I've been getting, B.B. King said it best, and may his soul rest in peace. He laid in the ghetto flats, cold and numb. He heard the roaches tell the bed bugs, get a wretched son and all that. And I come up on the streets in the west side of Chicago, man.
Yeah, that's his hood.
I've been accumulating my blues. And that's where I write from.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, y'all, this is Mrs. D. You can hear Talking About the Blues podcast on Podomatic, YouTube, and iTunes. Remember to rate the show and show us some love.
Let's talk about that. You won the Living Blues Album of the Year award. You won many awards.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with the awards. I appreciate it, and I just want a BMA for my Pops, a tribute to Muddy Waters album with Kim Wilson and myself. And I hope I'm not jumping you here, Jack.
Go on.
I am an ecstatic man, and I want to personally thank anyone in earshot of this that may have had anything to do with voting for me to win that BMA. I want to personally say thank you very much. That one was done for my father and my mother, Mildred. The next one belongs to me.
I hear that. I have to say, you're a really old school cat. I appreciate that, because what we need right now is two things. Well, three things. We need our Lord and Savior, of course. Then we need,
no doubt about it.
Yes, sir. We need the blues and the culture of the blues, but we also need that respect factor of our parents, our father and our mother. And you seem to exude that respect for your father. I really respect and appreciate that.
I tell you, Jack, really so much for my dad. My dad was always on the road, and he didn't spend much time with me. And there was just so many things that I didn't get a chance to say to him, and I'm sure him to me. And my mom, on the other hand, was always the one who picked me up when I fell on my knee, or scold me when I didn't do something right, and threaten me with when father get home, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
but yeah, man, I'm way past 21, man, and I love my dad so much it just really doesn't make any sense. So,
did you have an opportunity to meet some of the cats that he worked with, like Willie Dixon, Howlin' Wolf, or any of the...
I've lived with all those cats, man. Me and my mom and my dad used to stay in a building on the south side of Chicago, around Ellis somewhere. It's been so many years. And I saw Bo Diddley, Wolf was in the building. And, of course, I still do contact Willie Dixon family, Marie Dixon, who I take for a second mom, Willie Big Eye Smith family. We talked just recently. I talked with Bobby Rush. I talk to these people, man, because Muddy's not here anymore. And sometimes the business can be a vicious business. And I need to know people that I can call on and depend on to help me.
Well, with that being said, let me ask you, being the son of a legend that's making your own legacy, because your music is serious.
It could be a double-edged sword, though. I have been in concerts, Jack, where people, I've done a few songs, call out and just give me songs to do. Hey, do Mojo, do Hoochie Coochie Man. It could be a double-edged sword. But, if you think about it, man, I could sound like anybody, and it's not bad for me to sound like my father, because most parents want their children to be as great as they are or greater.
Absolutely.
And I think, in my case, my dad would be just so proud of me, man, and I think I'm doing the right thing. So it's okay by me.
Sometimes you're like, I'm trying to do this song, but y'all want to hear this, but you gotta please the crowd.
I get that a lot, but I'm blessed enough to know that the people don't care, man. They love it, I love it, and they don't care, man. So it's good, Jack.
Hi, I'm blues man Larry Griffin, and you're listening to Talking About the Blues. That's what I'm talking about.
Is there a book or a movie or a documentary in the works?
You know how that stuff go, man. When you're dead and gone, they come up with 1,000 things to write. So I'll just wait till they do that, and hope they portray me as the person I am. I've had some good times and I've had some bad times, just like you and anybody else out there.
That's right. That's right.
I can tell you this: I am God-based. I am church-based. So I do know right from wrong, but I'm a man, and we are not perfect. So, with that being said, I do still keep God up front.
Absolutely. The Bible's filled with imperfect people trying to live right.
Yeah, what the song say? A person blessed is only a sinner who fell down and got up.
That's right.
I forgot the guy's name, but I love that song.
Yeah, that's right.
It's okay, man. It's okay today. It's okay today, Jack.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about yesterday. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and not necessarily yesterday, but some time ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. You always have been a musician, but you did not, you and your brother for that matter, Big Bill, you guys didn't decide to go professional until after the passing of your father. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, hey, yeah. I mean, how can you feel muddy shoes? You know what? Them is some big shoes to fill, man. B.B. King, them some big shoes to fill, man.
Wow.
Them some big shoes, man. It won't ever be but one of those cats, man. John Lee Hooker. It won't be but one of those cats, man. The Johnny Taylors.
Right.
Floyd Taylor did a great job with his dad's stuff, but those cats, man. And it's gonna only be one Mud Morganfield.
So it was just a timing situation.
Well, for me, I told you in the beginning, Jack. I had to get some more blues, man. I had to get some more blues, man. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, man. How can you tell a man how to stop drinking if you never took a drink?
That's real. That's a lyric.
Jack, how can you tell me how to stop drinking if you never took a drink?
No, that's real.
It's real. So I had to get some blues first, man. I went through a bunch of things on the streets of Chicago, seen a bunch of stuff, learned a bunch of stuff, and it made me the man I am today.
I dig it.
Hey everybody, this is Walter Trout, and you are listening to Talking About the Blues right here on MDO Radio Blues. Talking About the Blues.
Hey guys, let me tell you how you can get official Talking About the Blues merchandise. Go to our online store at www.talkingabouttheblues.com, where you can purchase t-shirts, hoodies, mouse pads, mugs, and iPad cases. Once you receive your merchandise, send us a pic and we'll post it on our website and different social media sites to let people know you are a part of the Talking About the Blues community. Keep bluesing.
So now, on the streets of Chicago, now, what's the time base? Set the stage up. What time was this in?
I lived on the west side of Chicago, man. Well, not all my life, because me and father, we did stay out south, like I said, in Chess Building. They had a building on Ellis. I don't know if it was 47 Ellis or 43rd Ellis. Been a long time, but I lived on the street, man, and what I mean I say on the street, man, is urban neighborhoods, man. I stayed in urban neighborhoods, and as a matter of fact, my dad stayed on 43rd and Lake Park, which is it's a tremendously urban neighborhood. All but the last 10 years of his life when he moved to Westmont, Illinois. Then with the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., man, and his city being burnt up, it even became more of an urban neighborhood. So,
Well, that's right. You pretty much lived over there during that time. How was that experience? How did it affect you?
I was a kid, you know what I mean? I was a young man. It affected me in ways that I didn't even know it was affecting me, and I'm okay with it, man, because, again, man, how you going to have some blues if you never had no blues? So, you know what I mean? I don't regret too many things I went through or done in my life because it made me who I am today, Jack. So, hey, it's all good.
A blues legend already, not in the making already. Let's get that clear.
Well, I don't like to, put certain labels on myself because all I want to do is just honor my father, honor my parents, and my children, and leave something good here. It's easy to leave something bad here about yourself. Leave something good, and that's what I'm planning on trying to do. It's just leave something good about Morganfield.
No, I dig it. Now, you've said a couple of times, which is the truth, to be able to belt the blues, play the blues, you got to have the blues.
I mean, just think about that, Jack. If you always had a loaf of bread on your table, if you always had the best of things you can best, sure, you could play the blues. Everybody can play the instrument. You know what I mean?
I do.
I can learn to play like Little Walter. Well, do that mean I got the blues?
No, it doesn't. It just means that you could play a Little Walter song.
Yes.
I dig it. So would it be safe to say that any advice you would have for upcoming blues artists is go out and get some blues?
Well, you know what? Let me just say this, and you can quote me on this. And it's what I tell every up-and-coming new blues artist. And I don't know how you may want to put this, but tell them don't believe the hype. The biggest lie that was ever told is that you need a drink or a drug to sound better. It's the biggest lie we ever been told. It's what have brought down giants in the music industry. Drugs and drinking and whatever. You don't need it.
You took it somewhere else, but that's real.
Man, that's the only real it is. And the only reason I can say that, Jack, is because I've had friends and associates that felt that they need to get them a shot or a joint or something to sound better. When in actuality, you sound worse.
Ooh.
Don't believe the hype.
That's what I'm talking about.
You don't need nothing but what God gave you.
I hope y'all listening, because I sure am.
Let me tell you listeners this, Jack, also.
Go ahead.
I have a hard enough time walking sober. Why would I want to be drunk around and running into walls?
Making it harder.
I have a hard enough time getting up sober. Why do I want to be sick the next morning? You don't need nothing but what God gave you.
And God gave us the blues.
He gave us whatever we got special. If you're a carpenter, if you are a truck driver, whatever you is, it's what it is. But you don't need nothing to make you perform better.
That's real. And that's a big stigma in the music industry.
Exactly. It's the biggest lie the devil put on us.
Wow.
I hate to sound like a preacher.
No, it's okay. Well, you know what? Good. Thank you for saying that, because now my next question is, being someone who was literally born into the blues, is it safe to say, or do you believe that the gospel and the blues is pretty much the same?
Well, I really, I can tell you this here. I can tell you that the blues came out of gospel. As a matter of fact, and this is just Morganfield's belief, that I believe everything came from gospel, especially for Africans and African Americans, because the blues started in the fields of the Mississippi, in the South, where slaves were being slaves and looking for someone or some higher power to rescue us. And we used to sing those old Negro spirituals in the fields. And it came from gospel and went to playing a one-string guitar to us having juke joints, sawdust joints, whatever you want to call them, and playing the blues.
Mm.
Still crying, still hoping, still praying for to be released, to be saved. If you want to put it how you want to put it.
Yeah. I mean, I would put it the way you just did. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, and that's what I think. I think it came from the cotton fields of the South, man, when slavery was coming around and coming about. Folk were being mistreated. Let's just tell it what it is. And people were looking for someone to save us, and we prayed to a higher power. And then it started from there, and then it came on out to blues, and then to country and western and rock and roll, or wherever you want to put it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. This is true. So let me ask you this. Young black folk, and I'm not trying to single out anyone, or better yet, I'm not trying to exclude anyone, because expression is expression. Music, all these things are healing for a human condition.
I agree.
Speaking about our next generations, as in young African American kids and young African American young men and women, seem to have gotten a disconnect from our history.
We can't blame them, Jack. They're looking for change. They're looking for different than what you and I may have been looking for in our days. They're looking for change. But it's up to you and I to keep it in their face. You know what I mean?
I do. Do you think it's important that they're able to learn instrumentation, composition, and history behind the music and things of that nature?
Well, I mean, again, here, only thing we can do is what we can do. You know what I mean? If it was just that simple, snapping your finger and changing the mind, then it would be probably too simple. But they have their destiny. We had ours, and they have theirs. And as long as I breathe air in me, personally, I'll always try to put some good blues out there. If they happen to hear one in a car, or, who was that guy, then it's worth it for me.
I dig it. When people hear your music, what is it that you want them to feel?
Well, I got to then say probably me, because there's some of the feelings that I have had, in my life. Again, I base a lot of this stuff off life experiences, past and present love affairs, just in life in general, and things, man. And I just to give a short thing what happened to me. I was playing in Sweden, and I sung a song that I wrote called Health, which is just basically that you can have all the money in the world, Jack, that you want. But if you is sick, you don't have nothing. You can have all the money in the world, but if you paralyzed from your neck on down, man, money doesn't mean diddy squat to you.
I dig it.
So, you know what I mean? And this guy came to me, and he actually cried. And he told me that the song touched him so deeply. And as we talked on, he finally opened his top shirt up, and where he had a triple bypass, pronounced dead twice, and by the grace of God, came back. Was able to live some more, and it touched him, man, and that just done me such a worldly good to know that I had made a difference in someone's life.
I dig it, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Well, when are you performing in New York?
Hey man, listen, I got a promoter in England called Moving Music for any overseas stuff I usually do in Europe, and anyone can contact me that's interested in me coming to New York, man. I'll go anywhere. I've contacted BB King Club before. I'll go anywhere they need me at, Jack. I'll go. I'm not that hard to catch. I've got a couple sites up out there. You can reach me at one of those sites, or you can email me at muddywatersjr.Jr. Let's talk. I'm always ready. I stay in Europe a lot, though. As a matter of fact, in a week I'm back over in England for a few days, man. But Hey, I live the life I love, and I love the life I live.
I dig it. Well, you know
That's
what?
a pop song.
Well,
So that's good.
it is. It's great, actually. But let me ask you this, because in back in the days, and we can go from the early 1900s to the 60s, blues and rhythm and blues, but especially blues and jazz for that matter, was better received overseas. Is that still the same today?
It's better now. I played to pack out houses over in Europe, Jack.
Mm.
I mean, and the people scream for more. I mean, it does an artist great. And I tell you, most artists around the U.S. would tell you that they would love to stay over in Europe as much as they can. There's no card playing at the table when they're performing. There's no pool game going on in the back. These people love the blues, and they receive you, and they appreciate you, and they show you with the applauses. You can hear a pin dropping the place sometime when I'm there.
Wow, because they just want to hear the music.
They want to hear the music, Jack. It's fantastic.
Wow. Now, Mr. Mudd, are you on? I know the answer to this, but I have to ask you this for the listeners. Are you on Facebook and Twitter and all these social sites?
Well, yeah, I have an account on Facebook and Twitter. I hardly ever do Twitter, but I am on there. So if I don't get right back with you, I'm most on Facebook. You can find me at Larry Mudd Morganfield, or you can find my band page at Mudd Morganfield. So I am out there, and I try to be the kind of artist that answer you personally myself. A lot of people have people do that stuff for them, and sometimes I do have one guy named Russell to do that. But more than likely, if you send me an email, if you send me a question, and I'll try to answer that personally myself. It will be from me.
Dig it. Now, there is a phenomenal and quickly rising to famous photographer out there that just captures the essence of the blues. And they wanted me to tell you, they said, what's up? I think you know who it is. I believe you pronounce it Shine Die, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. He's a friend of mine on Facebook. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Some great shots of me, too, and great shots of a bunch of artists. And you tell them I said hello.
I sure will.
Please do, and I wish him the best.
That's right. I have to tell you that this is a huge honor to be able to sit here and chop it up with you about the blues and your musical journey.
I try to keep it real, Jack. I try to keep it real. I'm not a phony. I try to keep it real as I can. I mean, if you're asking me questions and I just try to keep it simple, man. Keep it real, and that's all I know.
I'm happy you said that, because we have to end on this one question I have to ask you. And I hope it's not putting you on the spot, but besides your pops, who is your favorite, and yourself, of course, and your brother, who is your favorite blues musician of past or even present?
Well, I tell you now, remember now, I come up in a different era, man. So, my artists was mostly rhythm and blues guys, the Marvin Gaye's, and I can tell you my favorite guy is Barry White. Barry White, just for me, I'm just such a big romantic, Jack, and this guy, man, was the cause of 4 of my kids. Jack, he was definitely the cause of at least 4 of my kids, man.
I dig it.
So I love that kind of stuff, and it's just with the world being such angry place, that Barry White would take me to a different plane, so to speak, of love and caring. So.
And again, that's what it's about. And not for nothing, rhythm and blues is blues.
Yes.
I dig it. Barry White is my dude too. I really appreciate the maestro.
yeah, man. He's greatly missed with me. I mean, I have many others, but my favorite, as you asked me, probably would be Barry White, stuff like that, man. I mean, of course, it was the Temptations, all those guys. But
absolutely.
For what was in my heart, I would have to say Barry White.
I dig it. Well, Brother Mud, I really appreciate
I'm on it, man.
you are definitely keeping the blues alive. And
Do the best I can.
you doing it. And anything you ever need talking about the blues with you, Jack, just holler. We here for you. Heard me?
Appreciate you, Jack. You know that. But I just need you to do me one favor. Can you do this for me?
Yes, sir.
Please remind the up-and-coming new artists, please, that they don't need anything to become great.
I will.
Okay.
I definitely will. I definitely will. You guys heard it right here from Mud Morganfield himself. You've been bluesing with Talking About the Blues. And remember, if you don't do nothing, keep God first and keep on bluesing, baby.